in your life, like the family members you have who take Facebook picture selfies in their car very close to their face while wearing sunglasses, who pull you aside at a party to tell you why they think the Turning Point halftime show was culture changing. This is the Educated Ignorance Podcast on the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network. And ladies and gentlemen, my name's not Kid, but we're going to rock your world here on this lovely Friday, Thursday night Friday, whatever you want to call it.
Don't those people always have, they always have the same smile, too, where it's just...
More or less,
It's like they're annoyed they have to take a profile photo.
The cap on their hat's way too bent.
Or they're, looking off. It's just them driving, but they're, selfieing off to the side with their polarized sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Worst halftime show ever.
The ones the type of sunglasses that be like, I don't want the reflection while I'm fishing. Those types of people.
I can't turn my LED or my highlights on in the daytime, so I'm gonna blind you with my sunglasses.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with that action.
What
I'm gonna tell
did you think?
Why I know Spanglish. Huh? That was fast.
So I didn't think the halftime show was bad, but so mainly because living around a lot of Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, a lot of people in the Caribbean islands, there's a lot of pride from them with their culture. It's when someone from your small town makes it big or makes it to the next level, and everyone supports them whether you didn't before or not. Also because. I don't even care if I don't listen to Bad Bunny, if I don't understand what he's saying. Bad Bunny's music's good. The beats are good, the vibes are good. Also, going back to this point that I made earlier this week to someone, is that the halftime shows are never good. You're giving an artist they have to do 10 songs in less than 15 minutes with a full dance display and everything.
I think some of them are good. I thought Kendrick's last year was fine. I thought the LA one was really good. I thought Usher's was pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. They're fine. They're good, but everyone talks about them like they have to be the greatest things ever.
Yeah. So I thought it was
15
cool. It was a good vibe.
Do a show. It's something fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was incredibly well produced. It looked great. Visually, it was really good. The music is fun. Good vibes. Something you'd want to listen to when you're out in a club,
So there was a lot of cool I don't know if you heard the old lady that handed him the shot that he took in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is she owns the only Puerto Rican social club that's left in New York. So she's an 88-year-old bar owner for the social club in Puerto Rico where everyone goes and plays dominoes, eats, drinks, everything. So I thought that was cool. I also do love the whether you like Bad Bunny's music or not, he has the power to make every Latino woman go absolutely crazy within a 15-mile radius whenever his music starts playing, and I do respect that. Because
Amen. I'm not mad at him.
Did you ever see the video when he did the Celebrity All-Star Game for baseball a couple years back?
No, I didn't.
So they had security line up along the backstop because the women were trying to rip the backstop open just to get to him. They go that crazy for him. So I didn't think it was bad.
He's a popular boy. That boy's out here.
It was better than I saw videos of the Turning Point USA one. It's a lot better than that.
Just people complaining about that they're not allowed to be a certain shade of white or whatever.
I don't know the artist, but he was singing one of his songs and it keeps going viral because he's singing with too much of a twang. And he was trying to say catch my fish, and it kept coming out he said, I just want to kiss my fish.
I just want to lick my fish.
He's like, I just want to drink my beer, mow my grass. And someone was like, we are not stopping you from doing
No one's stopping you from mowing your lawn, bro.
Yeah. But
have you ever heard the Bo Burnham or Burnham? Burnham? The one that's like a cold beer, nice shoes. Damn, I said that. He's funny.
Oh my god! What? So I mean,
music, bro.
Yeah, it was definitely a bright spot in a very boring game for the most part.
Game was not fun. there's a lot. There's like a. Last thing I'm going to say about the halftime show. You ain't got to have a groundbreaking opinion on everything, man. Hey, listen, you're just because the girl you like, is ultra whatever. You thinking Bad Bunny changed the world on the Super Bowl Sunday don't mean she's gonna fuck you tomorrow, bro. Okay, not you, Danny. I'm just talking to the general you. So you can have an opinion that it was just fine.
Listen, if you liked
I
it, then
enjoyed the music is great. Bad Bunny's a dope dude. He's funny.
If you're not Spanish and you like the halftime show, now you're sort of Rican.
Yeah. You're sort of Rican. Yeah. Doesn't listen. I just hate how people have to have a. It was the greatest halftime show ever, or oh my god, these racist or these not racist. These woke people are trying to ruin my America. Like, you know what opinion you can have? It was fine.
I was gonna say about over the last 6 years, he's probably the most American person to ever do it because he's pride in his country. Doesn't get in trouble, doesn't do anything illegal.
Shout out to Bad Bunny. Shout out to Benito. As far as the game, there's a nerd part of me that really enjoys what the Seahawks did. However, the game was abysmal because the fucking Drake May was terrible. The Seahawks were great, but Drake May, I like games when the defenses shine, but it was part defenses were good. The Seahawks literally just for 3 quarters basically put their own offense in a phone booth and said, let's just not fuck up because Drake May is literally incompetent of completing a forward pass. So the game for me kind of died. The Seahawks, the Rams Patriots one that was 13-3, that game is kind of borderline for me. If it's good or not. Because it's half incompetence, half good defense, really good defense. There's a Super Bowl that was the Chiefs Niners. The first half of that Super Bowl was 10-0 or 10-7 or something like that. Or it was very low scoring. I was like, I'm into this. This is high level execution, those types of things.
This was just
the game on Sunday was just
3 and out, 3 and out.
Yeah, the game on Sunday was bad football.
Well, I remember they mentioned it. They said, or Chris Collinsworth had said on it too. He said, the Seahawks don't blitz a lot.
Oh, what the schematic stuff that McDaniel, the schematic full Nelson that Mike McDonald had Mike Vrabel in was incredible.
Yeah, I think after once they got down by more than a touchdown, and it was okay, they knew okay, we can't, or he can't get a pass off on us right now. Then it kind of turned into, all right, we'll drop 7 players back and we're just gonna blitz 4 because you guys can't stop us right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. If you had told me Sam Darnold versus Drake May was the Super Bowl matchup at this time last year, I would have thought you were high. Or I would have thought good for Justin Jefferson, to be honest.
Yeah. Shout out to the Vikings, yeah. But it is what it is, I guess. So we're not going to talk much Super Bowl today. If any, that's probably the amount that we're going to talk about it. We've got some stuff lined up, some college basketball, you've got a baseball thing you want to get off your chest.
We're going to the NBA All-Star break, so.
Yeah, we're fun times are here. Danny, take us on the ride, my friend. Where are we going?
So, do you want to do the baseball and get it over with?
Yeah, let's go. Start us off.
All right, so let me see if it'll let me share the screen here. No, why are you opening Google Chrome? That doesn't work. All right, so we gotta adjust something real quick. Give me 2 secs. Well, because I switched my browser, so it acts a little weird. So can you see the tiers?
There we go.
All right, so do you want to start top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's go bottom to top.
All right, so which is perfect. Okay, so all right, so Can you see it
I'm
now?
not looking. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because my screen just crashed. All right, so first we got here, we have you tried and somehow got worse, the Colorado Rockies. I don't know how to explain it, but yes, they were bad, and they made a bunch of lateral moves that somehow made them worse. I told you before the show, they got this guy from the Orioles, Tomoyuki Sugano, who is going to get absolutely hammered. He's going to be like my Patrick Corbin from a couple years ago, where I'm just going to fade him every single time. That's all I got to say on them. Disappointing. We have the Guardians, the Nationals, and the Angels. 3 teams. I felt the Guardians are in here because I felt like after what they've done the last couple of years, they could have at least made one move, and they didn't do anything. They let players walk. The only real move they did was just secure Jose Ramirez for the rest of his career. The Nationals, I'm a little disappointed they let Mackenzie Gore go, and they're just keeping this rebuild going. I thought if anyone was going to get moved, it was C.J. Abrams. Genuinely, C.J. Abrams is not good. I thought Mackenzie Gore was a good start for them, but I do like the pieces they got back. It's just going to be another 60 and 102 year for them. And the Angels, again, until you get Mike Trout help, you will always be in this category. You got Moncada back. That was good. You signed Chris Taylor. Lateral move. Your best offseason move was you traded one of your best outfielders for a pitcher who has not pitched in a year and a half. And you're already a young pitcher that was the focal point of a trade that your manager has already said is going to have to earn his reps from the bullpen to be a starter. That's not a good sign. And then the worst one's going to be if Luis Renifo does not re-sign, I would say this whole offseason is a failure because now you've lost your utility second baseman. Next on the list, you tried, and I appreciate that. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Joe, are you surprised the Pirates made a bunch of moves this year? They had a legitimately decent offseason this year.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to actually try, right?
You know, I said for years they need a first baseman. They went out and got Ryan O'Hearn. I thought that was good. They got Brandon Lau. I thought that was good. They brought in Ozuna, so watch out, Pittsburgh, late at night drunk driving. It's got to be him. They didn't do anything for their bullpen, but I think, like I said, I still think they're a year away from being a year away based on just the offseason. Obviously, this will change a bit once we see spring training, but I do think their bullpen is a year or two away. And I'm really interested to see because you have the number 1 prospect in baseball right now in Connor Griffin, and your number 2 prospect in your organization is a second baseman. So you're going to have the middle infield locked up for a while. I'm very excited to see what they do this year. Next category is the rebuilding coming? Minnesota Twins made a lot of moves, but it was for a lot of veterans on team-friendly contracts. What is that with a team that's pretty much lost everyone and struggled? The owner doesn't seem to want to spend real money. That bodes for one thing, right? Rebuild. So I think this could be a year like we could possibly see Pablo and Joe Ryan move. I think they're going to be. I think there's a possibility they finish last behind the White Sox this year. I like you know how the Angels and the A's were last year. I think there's a very real possibility that could happen this year for them. The next one is the Cardinals. It fills me with joy to say the Cardinals are the worst team in the NL Central, and I cannot wait to watch. They did absolutely nothing. They made themselves 5 times worse. They didn't even get great prospects back in the process. So long, Cardinals. I hate you. I hope you enjoy 5th place. Next one we got here. Same
that
team.
Sounds like my kind of party.
I haven't even told you the reason I hate them. I'll go into that after this. Same team, new faces. Tampa Bay, Houston, Philly. All 3 of these teams, they made moves. Nothing that was too impressive. A lot of them lost pieces that were big for them. But in reality, these 3 teams are going to be exactly where they were at last year. Maybe like 2 to 3 games worse. Maybe 2 to 3 games better. They didn't really do much, but they added new faces that's kind of like retooled. Next one, lateral moves. These are the teams who literally did not rebuild. They did not reset. They retooled. Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Arizona, and San Diego. Now, all 4 of these teams I was surprised Milwaukee made a lot of moves the way they did, but I do think it's good for their long-term future. The Reds did not surprise me. They let Austin Hayes walk. I didn't like that. But they added Eugenio Suarez, who I think is going to take over some of that offensive struggling that Ke'Bryan Hayes has. I don't know what the Diamondbacks are doing. I think they're going to probably get moved down a bit if they don't re-sign Gallen, which they're probably not. And San Diego, you let Suarez move, but I think it's okay when you already signed Mason Miller to a major deal. You let Arias and Cease go, but I think you have enough pieces around you to still finish top 2 and sneak in and get a wild card spot. The next one here, you have a curiosity. Joe, you can't tell me these 5 teams have not had very interesting off seasons from what you've seen, even as like a casual watcher of the baseball off season.
Definitely interesting, that's for sure.
Mets, you signed 4 second basemen to play your corner infield positions. You're going to see it's going to be a little bit longer to get adjusted because Lindor may be out to start the season. You brought in good pitching, and you were willing to get rid of pitchers who last year you said you were not willing to trade whatsoever. They were the future of your team. They're going to be very interesting this year. I worry about their bullpen because outside of Devin Williams, they did not make many bullpen moves. Or the bullpen moves they made, nothing impressed me. I don't think Luke Weaver is going to do that great. I don't think Devin Williams is going to do the best. I don't think they're going to return to what they were a couple of years ago. The Yankees, you got Bellinger back. Great. You brought in a couple veteran role players. You did not do anything for your bullpen. And I am very curious if you guys are just going to win every game 10-10 or 10-11, something like that, where you're going to have to score 500 runs a year. The White Sox, I was very surprised to see them in for Murakami. I think that's just a base contract to get him to the Dodgers in a couple of years when Freddie Freeman's gone. It literally is, and I could prove it. Oakland did really good this offseason, bringing in veterans without having to sacrifice too much of their core. And Miami made a bunch of moves, and I think Miami is set up to start that pursuit into wild card position, especially with teams like the Phillies and the Braves getting a lot older.
Uh-huh.
Solid off seasons. There were a lot of teams here. I'll go over the basics. Toronto, Kansas City, Detroit, Seattle, Texas, Chicago, your Cubs, and the Giants. Toronto made a bunch of good moves. Kansas City had a very sneakily good offseason. If you really look through it, they added a lot of good core pieces to where not everything's on their young players. They got a lot better. They have his kid, Carter Jensen. He's going to be an absolute stud this year. I think bringing in Framber is really good for Detroit because if you lose Skubal, you still have an ace secured for 2 to 3 years. Last year, reunion for Verlander is always great. Seattle brought in Brendan Donovan. I hate that they let go of Clinche, the switch pitcher. He's on the Cardinals now, so you're going to have to deal with him, Joe.
Uh-huh.
But Brendan Donovan was a really good piece to fill out the last missing key they need. The Rangers bringing in Mackenzie Gore was great. Cubs bringing in Bregman was great. They would be the next tier up if they didn't play that game of chicken with Imanaga. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Maybe a bit, yeah.
Because I don't think Imanaga was going to get $20 million in free agency, and then they kind of played that game of chicken, like we're going to let you go, but because they couldn't gauge his market, and he just said, "I'm going to take it."
Uh-huh.
In San Francisco, you got better hitters. Your team looks good. I really like what they're doing. My Braves, I have up and down. I want to keep them here if we do something with our starting pitching, but I don't know what we're going to do. I'm genuinely curious, and I have no clue what's going on with our team because we have somehow hit this bad luck of where every pitcher ends up on the 60-day IL. Would it kill you guys to put someone on the 10-day IL? That's all I need. That's all I'm wondering. Like, why does everyone have to be on the 60-day with an undisclosed elbow injury? Because now we have to start Bryce Elder because he's out of options. Red Sox, I thought that this was an amazing free agency. I thought Sonny Gray was a great move. I thought they filled out the rest of their rotation good. I think Wilson Contreras is going to be really good. The Red Sox are my current favorite to win the AL East. And the Orioles, after an offseason where everyone said you were too scared to spend money, you spent a lot of money. And you made a lot of good moves here. I think they might be a year off because I am worried about the health of their pitching. Their starting pitching looks great, but their bullpen cannot stay healthy. I am a bit worried about that and their young guys who are always constantly hurt. But I do like what they did here. I thought it was a great offseason. The last one here, we went a little biblical, Joe. James book 5, or was it Book of James 5, verses 1 through 3. Do you know what that is, Joe?
No, but please educate me on the word of the Lord.
All right, now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming upon you. Your wealth has rotted and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in your last days.
Good job. I am so proud of you.
This will be my 2-minute soapbox, my 2-minute warning, my soapbox. People have been talking about it. I don't think people are still taking it as seriously. The Dodgers are literally going to cause this league to go into a strike next year because you're already going to have players union discussions about if they can play in the Olympics, what can qualify for it. The insurance drama we've been dealing with the World Baseball Classic is going to be even worse. You have now you have owners begging for salary caps when none of the players want salary caps, and the players shouldn't get salary caps. But there needs to be a competitive block that commissioners can do, just like when they blocked the Kobe and the Chris Paul deal to the Lakers. There needs to be something where the commissioner says, okay, the only reason you want this guy is because him on another team would cause them to. It's not that you need him. You're just doing this to stockpile players. In reality, that's all it is. And are the Dodgers probably going to win the World Series again? Probably. But this is baseball. They could get bounced in the first round if a team gets hot at the right time. But at a certain point, the MLB needs to step in. Manfred is not going to step in, so this issue is not going to get solved unless there is a strike or when he retires in 2030. And there we have it. How did you feel? Anyone you disagreed on? Anyone you really liked in their tier?
No, I think a lot of it was grading off seasons, not grading where you think the teams would be. Because if we're actually grading where the teams should be, I wouldn't have the Braves and the Orioles that high. Obviously, I probably wouldn't have had Milwaukee that low.
Well, I don't think Milwaukee's going to have that great of a year this year. I think they're going to fit. I think the Central if the Padres can step up, I think the Central's only going to have one team in the playoffs this year.
I would love to say that the Brewers won't, but the Brewers practice dark arts, so they have voodoo magic.
That is very fair.
So, one can only hope they don't for so long.
See, I put that Bible reference in solely for Nick. I wanted to test Nick and his church going.
I go to church. I didn't know it. I don't know Bible verses off the top.
You're going to hell then, Joe.
That's on me, I guess.
Church is not going to Bears games. That doesn't count.
Praise be to the Lord. All right, what do we got next?
I guess so. We're going into NBA All-Star break. The games are officially done until next Thursday. How do you feel going into? Because I feel like the All-Star game's just gotten worse and worse and worse every single year. Last year, they played for 45 minutes and there was 2.5 hours of talking and advertisements. Can you fix the All-Star game? Truly?
No.
Or All-Star weekend?
No, because these guys don't have enough up to them to. Oh, Jesus, sorry. Fuck me. I'm so sorry. These guys don't have enough up to them, really, to want to play hard enough in these games. At least I don't think so. So that's kind of where we get, some pushback.
Yeah. I think the only thing I feel like that would help it is if they did what was it called in hockey? The League of Nations or whatever it's called.
The Four Nations face-off.
Four Nations, yeah. Where
if they did that would be something.
You get a little North America, you could do African players. You could do border kind of like Northern or Central European, Southern Europeans. So you'd have a team of all the Baltic players. You'd have a whole team of Wemby and the Spanish players. You'd have a whole U.S., Canada, Europe and Africa, and you just played a tournament for a week. Give them an extra week off after.
Mm-hmm. So you'd have to figure something out. So the reason the Four Nations face-off worked the way that it did, other than the fact that the United States was, was eye to eye with Canada, that peaked a lot of it. However, the biggest reason is it works out because in the NHL in hockey, the America, Canada, Sweden, and Finland are the only four teams that in international play that is top to bottom billed with NHL players. So once you get past them, you start running into teams that only have like 3/4 of their roster with NHL guys, or half of their roster with NHL guys, or a third of their roster with NHL guys. You know what I mean? So that's why the Four Nations face-off worked so well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It would be harder to do that with basketball. Because just look at
that's why I feel like you could break up Canada, US. You could have like Africa, Australia as a team, and then you could break up like Europe into like Northern Europe, Southern Europe. So it's like like the England, the Baltics, like Sweden, Finland, all those, and then it's like Spain, Italy, France, like that. Because then if you did like the Northern and Southern, you'd have like Germany. You could have like Franz and Mo with Luka and Jokic, and then you could on the South you could have all the French players, every Spanish player. You could have like Santi Aldama in there, something like it's just something like they talk about like, oh, if you added a one-on-one tournament, players would do that because their egos. No, they would still half-ass it because they like.
Exactly. They still wouldn't take it full.
I just think that they need to instead just do like, all right, we're gonna take 2 weeks off, like a mid-season break.
Yeah. Speaking of your pride for your country, have you watched any of the Winter Games yet?
I have not. They've been on at work, so I've seen like a little bits of them, but I have not watched them myself. The only thing I've seen is, did you see the slalom skier that hit the pole at like 60 miles an hour?
Oh my god.
And you could hear him going, ah!
That's your dick. R.I.P. to your dick, bro.
Shout out the greatest commentary ever. He's like, oh no, the Frenchman. Monsieur.
Monsieur.
No, I haven't seen any of the, I know the hockey's just starting.
Yes.
I watched Lindsey Vonn crash.
Rip. Triple fracture in her leg. Nothing against all the other sports. Nothing against women's hockey. Nothing against whatever. Yesterday, watching the first day of the of the hockey made me realize, oh yeah, the rest of this is junior varsity, and this is what we're all fucking here for.
Yeah.
It was the first time in 12 years watching, I forgot what this meant. I forgot that it made me feel a certain type of way. Because it's actually the best in the world. I love international I thoroughly enjoy international basketball. I love international hockey.
Yeah.
So I this is my shit. Watching Slovakia beat Finland yesterday or Wednesday, which was a pretty major upset, was like watching the first game of the NCAA tournament, and it was just a 12 seed that got hot against a 5, and the entire building is cheering for the upset to happen because they want to see something cool.
Yeah.
And it was really dope. Yeah. And then Italy's getting mauled by Sweden, but they're tied late in the second period. They have 4 shots. They scored on 2 of them. Sweden's got 40. And it was 2-2 until the end of the second, and then Sweden put it away finally. But and then today, Canada and the U.S. both dominated. God, it was so
I was gonna say, just watching that one goal that went viral.
Oh yeah,
the way
that was sick.
It's just toying with them, man. Like I was just like, oh my god, like they're just flexing.
So the first period was weird because they had 2 goals get waved off. They should have been up 3-1. Maybe 2-1 because the first one that got challenged and waved. So they scored first. Then they scored first. Then Latvia tied. Or no, they scored first. Then they scored again, but it got challenged and it got waved off. Latvia scored right after that to tie it at 1. Then they scored again and it got waved off again due to another challenge. That one was bad. It should have been 3. It could have been 2-1. Should have been maybe 3-1. And then USA in the first half of the second period kind of was playing a little But then all of a sudden they started to lean on him. Brady Tkachuk had a monster crazy hit in open ice, and then from there they just started fucking ripping. And the final 10 minutes of the second period, they were playing the fucking Harlem Globetrotters music. They're just like you put the Harlem Globetrotters whistling to that goal that you saw. Yeah. Them just that passing and you just hear so, it'd be So yeah, safe to say it was fun watching them get after it.
Yeah. I will
Plus,
say this:
them in the white jerseys are so dope. The white jerseys are so sick.
Watching, but so like most of the stuff, like because when we watch it at work, it's like after it's already been, so they do like the highlights and like the here's what the U.S. did here.
Uh-huh.
My favorite's always to watch is the biathlon people.
Oh my god! Did you see the one guy in skis like running up a hill, bro?
And you're like doing that while also holding a rifle and shooting.
Yeah, they're that's silly. That's athleticism.
Yeah, and you're like doing a marathon on skis. Yeah. And then I always like watching the figure skating solely because not just because it's it's graceful, whatever. You're like when you realize the shit they're doing with knives on their feet, like, and it's like one slip. You know what I mean? Like one slip could just kill you.
Dude, the wildest thing that I saw was like when they're doing the ice dance, which is the partner thing, and they're like literally like the dude will have the woman like standing on their thighs while they're in like a seated position.
Yeah.
How are you not getting arteries cut open, bro? Like what the fuck?
It just reminds me of when they did that in the what is it, in Blades of Glory? When
Oh
he's
yeah,
like, I took
White
this
Lotus.
move. Yeah, he's like, I took this move to the one place extreme enough to try it. North Korea. It's like, of course.
Yeah, yes. Yes. I do be thinking of that when they be doing that stuff. I've been getting a lot of curling in. Watching a lot of curling. I don't know what's going on, but I
Curling's
know.
great because like every other country looks like they're like fine-tuned athletes. In the U.S., it just like the U.S. curling team looks like 5 people who did it at a bar for fun one night,
Yes,
and they just acted. They didn't realize it was like a tournament for like who's going to the Olympics for the U.S.
Yeah, just a
I did
dude
like
with a beer gut.
when they were already up enough that it didn't matter. They put in the guy who was like their emergency guy, and he's now the oldest person to ever compete in the Winter Olympics. He was 55. I don't know if you saw that at all.
Yes, I did. I did. That was a cool little moment.
Yeah. So so why don't we go? Let's move on to college basketball. So I know you're gonna want to talk about your Illini. So we're heading close to conference championship week. Um, is there any team you're watching right now that's they're high ranked, they're gonna be high ranked in their tournament, but you think might falter?
It's a great question. I don't really know. I'm very intrigued on like what the so like Kansas is top 10 now. They're very average to me. They're just playing well. They did knock off Arizona. They're going to get they could get a 2 seed eventually, and I just don't know if they're that good. Um I feel bad saying it. Part of me doesn't. So North Carolina, they're a team that's going to get a top 4 seed. That I think I wouldn't be shocked if they got clipped in the first weekend.
Yeah, with Caleb Williams out.
Well,
Caleb Wilson, sorry.
Caleb Wilson being out, that doesn't help.
Sorry, I manifested.
I know. Fuck you. I feel bad saying it, but I don't know. If Nebraska ran into a team that, like, in the second round, that's a 6 seed, that's just ultra athletic, that could just match them and make their like if 3 seeded Nebraska played 6 seeded Arkansas in the second round, that's a fucking tough matchup for Nebraska, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think also you got to worry, like, the big thing you always got to worry about with a lot of these teams. And this was big last year because if you remember that BYU Iowa State game where they were just hammering threes back and forth for like for 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you had to worry about that is always the team. It's like, hey, this team that lives and dies with the threes, what if they get hot and there's nothing we could do about it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's always a possibility.
Because the key in that game was like Iowa State just couldn't keep doing that. Like they couldn't keep shooting 500 threes a game, and BYU just matched them until they got tired. Like, but if you got a really physical team like Nebraska, what are you gonna do when you have to play a team? Like let's say you get Illinois in a team where Wagler just starts bombing threes again, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I agree. Illinois' biggest thing right now is they just got to get fucking healthy. Not having Boswell or Stojakovic against the best guard duo in the Big Ten did not help on Tuesday. That was very annoying, but is what it is, I guess. I really enjoyed watching them with a single digit by their name. Not gonna have that the rest of the fucking year. Well, I mean, I guess they can get it if they beat Michigan next week, but
I would say even if they keep it close and like force Michigan to struggle a bit.
I think they'll beat Michigan.
Are they at Michigan or at Illinois?
It's at home. I'd almost feel fucking better if we were playing at Michigan. We fucking suck at home. That's the last step from us to being like a legitimate super threat, like super team or a superpower. Like we're a power, but we're not a superpower. If we were better at home, we'd be a superpower. But we fucking lose dumbass home games every year, because I mean, I don't know. It's a combination of things. Our crowd sucks. That's one problem, but oh well. That's very inside Illinois basketball right there. I'm sorry. Here's the thing that I'm excited for this season with college basketball. Not that I wasn't excited about it last year, because I do like it more when it's just the top teams instead of like Cinderellas are fun, but once they get too deep in, it's like they overstay their welcome. If there's too many Cinderellas, then all of a sudden it's like, come, all right, guys, we get it. I am I'm very excited for the 3 seed, the 4 seed, the 5 seed level teams to be able to be a bit more punchy in the postseason than last year. Because obviously, outside of the ones and a few twos, you were drawing dead. I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think the one line is going to be very gettable. The one line, right, like Houston, right now, the one line I would say is probably Arizona, Michigan, Houston, and then probably Duke.
So I have Torvik up right now in his tourney cast based on like the simulations. I can tell you the four highest average seeds teams.
Okay.
We got Arizona, Michigan tied as the number 1 overall. We got Duke, and then we have Connecticut. Houston is right behind Connecticut, and then right behind them is Illinois.
Yeah.
But I think so. I have one team. Like I want to say people are sleeping on them, but I do think like because of how good the Big 12 is, they've fallen. They're a lot lower down on this list. And I'm gonna say Texas Tech. I think the way they're playing is great. I think they're kind of conditioning their players for that tournament environment where it's, hey, we're going to have to play our 7 best players 38 plus minutes a night.
And they've got the best guard big combo in the country.
Exactly. I mean, we like the big thing, I was talking with Don about it, like, with them having Arizona this weekend, we were worried about them, struggling versus Colorado. And I mean, JT Toppin just
rolled them.
18 boards. Like I think they're very good. like their road record leaves me a lot to wonder, but I think that with the teams they've played, the teams they've beat, I really like them. I really think they're going to be a threat. Um, I think so. For me, I have two teams that aren't a number one seed in my Final Four prediction, and that's them, and it is Florida.
Florida's getting like nerd love recently. They are a lot of people are falling in love with them. Here's my problem with Florida, bro. Their guards are bad. No team has ever with just good wings and bigs won the title, like made a run. That's where I run into the wall with Florida. Do you know what made Florida incredible last year?
It's
They
Clayton.
they were 6 guards deep and they were all NBA players or NBA equivalent, like NBA players or G leaguers. It's like, well, here's Walter Clayton, here's Will Richard, here's Elijah Martin, here's like
Yeah,
just guys everywhere, you know?
yeah, and I
Now,
think
I
going
think
back to go ahead.
I think Hauk and Condon and Chenyulu are awesome. They're fucking nasty, but Boogie Fland has 3 for 19 in a round 2 game written all over him. And you're like, ah, shit. We should have seen this coming.
Yeah, and I think going back to Tech, the one thing that worries me is their neutral games this year have all their road and neutral games
Mm-hmm.
have been against teams they're more likely to see in the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the teams and in conference, Arkansas they lost by 7, Purdue they lost by 30, and Illinois they lost by 4 at Illinois. They lost to Texas, or they lost to Houston, and then Kansas and UCF in back-to-back games. Now, obviously, Kansas is going to be a hard one regardless. The UCF loss, it worries me a bit because it's showing that when you're on the road, um, you're struggling, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the one thing that's going to worry me with Tech is when they are away from Lubbock, how are they going to play the rest of the season?
That's a fair assessment.
Because Houston at home was a big win, right? Like looking at their home record, they blew Colorado out by 34. They beat Houston. They beat Duke. Well, they beat Duke at neutral. Um, they beat Wake Forest at home. They they beat Baylor by 20 at home. They beat BYU by 13. They beat Utah by 14. But they cannot win on the road right now.
I definitely I that just obviously has, something we got to keep seeing as the season goes along. I like your pick with them. They're interesting. I don't love I love their best players. I don't love the guys that are gonna be like all their swing players. I don't love them. I think they're very too hot and cold. But I love me some Christian Anderson. I love me some JT Toppin. Uh, I think JT Toppin
So
is
if
a freakazoid.
so, if you had to call right now the 4 teams you think will make the Final Four, who would you pick?
I wouldn't say these are the 4 teams I would have making it, but these are the 4 team. Okay. See, I would probably give you more than 4. Like
You
who I
do.
act.
Let's do 4. Do an honorable mention, and then do a spicy one, like a long shot.
Okay. Okay. Michigan, Connecticut. When they're on, they're on. Uh, um, Houston, Illinois.
All right. What's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention. It's either. Oh man, part of me wants to say Michigan State. because I think with them, their guards. Nah, Fears is incredible, but their guards are too shitty. Outside of him, they're too inconsistent. I would say Duke. Having the best player is going to help them a lot. But God, that game with Michigan is going to tell me a lot because I wonder, like, can they swing with a team that's that high level?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like super duper high level, which I think Michigan is. And I know Illinois has. This is a bad week for me to say Illinois is going to the Final Four, but when their top 8 guys are all healthy, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah. So who's your long shot?
My long shot. I've got. Let me give you 2. Is that okay?
I will allow it.
Arkansas is one of them.
Ooh, kind of like that one.
I like Acuff a lot. I think they've got really good experience, and Calipari knows. I know Calipari gets dragged a lot, but I think he knows what to do. And then I wouldn't take BYU in that spot. I don't think they've got enough juice. Is Mikkel Brown playing or not? If Mikkel Brown's playing, I think Louisville's got a great shot to be frisky. But if Mikkel Brown's not playing, then I would pass on them. Another team that has some spice to them. I loved your Texas Tech pick. I'm mad that you said it before I got the chance to. And this isn't the last thing. This isn't a Final Four thing, but I just want to show some love. Miami of Ohio can make a Sweet 16. It sucks because they're probably going to have to actually run the table to even make the tournament at this point. However, they're capable of making a Sweet 16. I kind of want them to lose a game in the regular season and then win their conference tournament because I think that once they actually lose a game, if they lose a game in the regular season, I think that they'll just – because I feel like the last few weeks they've been playing kind of tight.
Yeah.
Since this winning streak has gotten to a certain point. But they're really good. They got really good mid-major dudes. In a world where college basketball now basically robs the mid-majors, Miami of Ohio has some dudes. And I legitimately think they can make a Sweet 16.
That's fair. So my 4 are, I got Arizona, Houston, Duke, and I'm gonna stay with Florida just because also one defending champ. I know defending champs typically don't go that deep the second year, but I think they have enough of the same players with the experience that know what needs to be done. Right. So I think that's going to be enough to kind of get them through. They know how to beat the teams higher than them. They know how to play the big boys in the tournament. I have 2 honorable mentions. I'm going to say Illinois, and then I'm also going to say Purdue. I think Purdue. These guys are in their what's his name, Trey Kaufman, Wren, and Braden Smith. I think they've been here long enough they can get it done. And kind of give Purdue a big run. Outside of Texas Tech, my long shot, I'm gonna say Gonzaga. I mean Gonzaga's played. They've spent most of their season in their non-con playing the big boys. I mean they're typically when we see these big mid-major teams, they tend to play like easy games, like inflate their schedule and everything. But a lot of quad 1 and quad 2 games on their schedule, and then away in neutral. The only loss they had neutral was Michigan. I mean, but they beat Bama by 10. They beat Kentucky. They beat Oregon. They beat UCLA. All these games they won by at least 9 or more. Um, I think they can make some kind of a run here.
I would love to say Purdue real quick with you, but I really worry about them with a team that could just kind of out athletic them. And Trey Kaufman-Renn has been bad this year. I also think he's playing injured. I think his hip is fucked up. He's been terrible. If this was if last year's version of TKR was playing, I would say yes, Purdue can absolutely make the Final Four. Like Purdue would then like if TKR from last year was playing, they'd be living up to the billing from the number one ranking going into the season. But TKR has been 1/8 of himself. The Gonzaga pick, I don't know. I watch them and they don't give me the vibes, but I don't hate it. I feel bad for not saying Arizona just because I feel like, they did start 23-0 before losing to Kentucky, but I don't know, man. I just don't. There's something about them when I watch them. Maybe it's because 2 games that I've watched them in the closest, was BYU where they almost gagged a 13-point lead in 2 minutes, and Kansas where they let a very average Kansas team walk them down and beat them. I understand that Fog Allen is a torture chamber, but that was a weird loss that I don't know. It sat with me. Arizona gives me the heebie-jeebies. I feel like also, too, every time I trust them, they lose to a team like, Princeton.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the team that, when the sports books are doing all their promos the day before, it's like 47% of the people have put Arizona as their national champion. Like
Yeah,
them in Michigan. Like, so
yeah.
I have a couple of futures in. I had Houston to make the Final Four at the beginning of the season. I got it at plus 270. And I also put Duke last week to make the Final Four. So those are the 2 I'm riding with. I just think Duke has too good of a team that, like, when it comes down to it, I think they could just give the ball to Boozer and just let him work.
The difference between last year and this year is, I think the gap between the top I think the gap in the top 20 to 25 teams is way closer than it was last year. Last year
That's
the
fair.
gap was this close between the top 3 or 4 teams, and then after that it started to widen. I think this year seeds 1 through 4 or 5 are going to be much closer. So I think we could get a year like we got a couple of years ago, which is actually probably my favorite tournament, one of my favorite tournaments ever, which was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the first UConn title, where you just have like it's kind of chalky getting to the Sweet 16, but after that you start getting upsets. So you've got 4 seed Miami and 5 seed Connecticut and like 6 seed Creighton versus 5 seed SDSU playing in the Elite Eight. So that's the type of
Yeah.
shit that I like. I love seeing that
Do
type of
you
stuff.
do you have a team that you think a lot of people are going to be high on and going into the tournament that you think are going to be more fraudulent, or not fraudulent, but like almost like a team you could possibly see being upset, or a team that people are going to take them to go, like, I don't know, at least to the Sweet 16 that might get bounced in the first 2 rounds?
Sometimes the teams that I pick out of that are the mid majors that I love me some way overhyped mid major juice that I feel like we can short the market on. So like last year, remember how everyone was saying, I don't remember who they were playing, but remember how last year Vermont was a huge upset pick in their first tournament game,
Right.
and we were like, guys, they always get here, but they never win. Don't pick Vermont to win. So it was just those are really cool things that we could are little fun shenanigans to kind of marginalize.
I got one from the ACC I like.
I'm really worried about Nebraska in the tournament. I really think they're good, but I don't think they're deep. Like they're maybe 6 guys deep, and I worry about if teams can kind of if they just have they aren't going to have the level of dude that some of these teams are going to have. Now their offense is elite. Mast can get it from anywhere or can get it from inside. He can do it. Sanford's a savage. He can get it from all over the place. Frager has played really good lately. The Wilkerson or the Williams dude, the dude who beat Illinois at the buzzer in the first time they played, number 10. He's a really good player. So like they've got a bunch of guys. They've got guys. They're just not deep. They're thin. So that kind of worries me. If for like people are going to think Nebraska, look at this cool story. Never won a tournament game. Now they're going to make a Final Four run. I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to put them deep into the second weekend. It's going to be matchup dependent for them. Like I said, if they draw Arkansas, you know what I mean, or like Alabama in round 2, I'm going to be like, oh, don't love this. Not a fan. Not the best matchup in the world.
Yeah.
You know.
So I got one that the more I look at it, the more I don't want to say they're fraudulent, but the more I see them being at least a second round exit, and that's Clemson. Like you look at their schedule, they haven't like I get it, they're on the weaker side of the ACC because the ACC still does for basketball, right? It's like two separate, or is it still like it's just they pick certain teams they play twice, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, no,
let
the ACC this year is weird. Where like there's some teams that aren't even playing each other at all.
right. So like I'm looking at at their ACC schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even their I'm looking at their full game schedule, right? Their losses: Georgetown, Bama, BYU, NC State, Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They beat Georgia, but they had to go to overtime. Outside of that, their non-con was like North Alabama, Alabama A&M, New Hampshire. So they beat by 50. South Carolina was a good game. Cincinnati was a good game. But then they had their ACC schedule was Syracuse, Pittsburgh, SMU, Notre Dame, Boston College, Georgia Tech, and then they played Pitt, Stanford, and California.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then they're going into their last 6 games. They got to play Duke, Wake, Florida State, Louisville, North Carolina, and Georgia Tech. So they have 3 games there: Duke, Louisville, North Carolina, that I think they're going to really struggle with. I just don't see them going past the second round. 'Cause I'm looking at bracketology right now. First round right now, Clemson would get either Georgia, UCLA, Miami, Florida, or St. Mary's. Right, all 4 of those are going to be tough for Georgia or for Clemson. Right? And even if they make it out of the first round, they're going to have to play the 2 seed, which means they're going to get Connecticut, Purdue, Illinois, or Florida. You can't tell me right now you would take Clemson over any of those 4 teams.
No.
Like it would have to be like one of those 4 teams has to have like a major screw up.
Hey, though, they're well coached, man. They've been to back-to-back Sweet 16s.
No, they didn't make it last year.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. They got clipped by McNeese in round 1. They lost, but they made the Sweet 16 2 years ago, or was it the Elite 8? They made the Elite 8 2 years ago. Like they've made Sweet 16s. They're a team that finds ways to win, man. This is the weakest version of them in quite some time. They don't have a guy like they used to have. They didn't have anybody that would blow your drawers off, but they've had guys. Now it's
they've had the senior, the junior that's been in the system for 3 years and knows how to play it.
So yeah, man, I'm excited. We're on the verge of being on the verge. Mid-February, bro. We're out here.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to get after?
No, that was pretty for me. I mean, I know when we get Don on next week, we could ask him some college baseball. I know that's kicking off this week. There's a really funny college baseball. Like I sent him this as Don this as a joke, but it was an actual story.
Uh-huh.
So Milwaukee plays LSU tomorrow, right?
Uh-huh.
For opening day. My LSU is number 2 in the country, like consistently one of the best teams every year. So it came out that Milwaukee had been practicing in the parking garage because their indoor facility was being used for basketball and they couldn't use it, and the fields were too cold, so they've been having to basically do ground balls and stuff in the parking lots, right? And then they said, "Oh, by the way, now you have to play number 2 in the country, LSU, tomorrow."
Oh boy.
I think I think the spread's like -4.5, but I could very well see them losing by like 30 tomorrow.
Hey, man. Pray for him. Send your best.
Also, can we get more college baseball coverage? Like, not even like gambling wise, but just like in general, man. Because college baseball is so fucking fun.
It does have some shit to it. It does have some shit to it. I never really follow before the postseason, but that's because I'm a filthy casual.
Well, but, I mean, I think most people are casual because you have to use like obscure websites to find videos, and you gotta hope that the colleges have live streams to watch games. And most of the time, they don't even have like an actual TV broadcast. It's just, hey, we set up a camera behind home plate.
Sometimes you gotta get done what you gotta get done.
Yeah, but still, like I feel like the way they promote college softball on ESPN, ESPN2, like they could show a little bit more love to baseball.
I don't disagree. All right. Well, we are here. I'm proud of us. I thought we did good.
Yeah.
All right.
I only cut out 3 times.
Yeah, I know. We made it through. All right. This has been the Educated Ignorance Podcast, the weekend warm up. Thank you for hanging out with us. Daniel, good job by you, buddy. Go team. All right, that's going to do it, y'all. We'll see you guys next week. We are out. Thank you for hanging out with us. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure it's very warm. We'll see you guys. Bye.